Hey there. Greetings from Phoenix, Arizona and the Valley of the Sun. Old guy in a Tesla here, and I'm a big fan of full self-driving. My mission is to excite you about this technology and show you what you can expect. I have extensive experience in software development and data analysis, as this is what I do in my real life. I will be using a 2024 Model Y with version 12.5.1.3. With each new release, we'll go to several destinations using an unedited recording of the drive. At the end of each video, I'll rate the quality of the drive. We'll then have a running data-driven comparison for each destination and version. I will do my best not to touch the controls, even if it's making me crazy by driving too slow or making unnecessary lane changes. The whole point of this is to experience full self-driving as if the car was fully autonomous. All right, buckle up and let's go on today's drive. In today's video, we're returning to the CostCo warehouse at 44th and Oak Street. This is our second time to this destination, with the first one a couple of weeks ago using full self-driving version 12.5.1.1. Like the drive we did to Whole Foods with this version, I don't expect there to be many differences since the last time we went to Costco. Again, this is only a build release and there are no new features listed. I suspect this release has more to do with the internal testing of the full self-driving software on Hardware 3 vehicles. So by the time you see this video, the release of this stack to those Hardware 3 vehicles should be ongoing, and you'll see it in the release 12.5.1.5. As in previous videos, the system navigates the wrong way around this traffic circle when starting from this driveway. What I thought was interesting here was that it does show the correct routing on the navigational screen. However, the car continues to choose to go the wrong way around this circle for some reason. I really don't understand this disconnect. And for some reason, the turn signal, which came on when we drove to Whole Foods in the last video, didn't come on this time, even though the car treated the circle in the exact same way. Coming up to the stop sign here on Roosevelt, the system seemed to do a little bit better today. Part of that might be the fact that there was very little traffic on the road. There's still the steering wheel jiggle as it makes the turn, but it seems a little bit more confident today. Definitely not as bad as in previous videos, but it's still annoying. The person riding the bicycle here presents a particular challenge. Just as we come up alongside of them, the bike lane ends, and we've got this traffic light and intersection ahead. I think the system does a really nice job of holding back, waiting for the person on the bicycle to cross the intersection, and then when there's room, it quickly moves over and goes around them. The system has never paid any attention to the no turn on red sign here, and there's no reason to believe it will this time. However, in this situation, there are already cars lined up. When the light turns green, it just follows the rest of the traffic and turns onto 7th Avenue. This light poses a conundrum in the scoring because I know it would run this light if it wasn't green when we approached. You can't reproduce the exact conditions every single time, but I'll stay true to the spirit of full self-driving and call them as I see them. So technically, the system did not run this red light like in previous videos. Getting onto the highway here from 7th Avenue, there's the same annoying behavior when it crosses the transition and slows down, even though there are no cars in the area. This is annoying to me and would be annoying to anybody driving behind me. Again, really nice job traveling through the Deck Park Tunnel and along the I-10. The system continues to move over to the left and away from the worst of the traffic. This section of highway is always very crowded because there's a lot of entering and exiting of the highway. It doesn't get as far over to the left as it normally does, but that might be because there's just less traffic today, or because we're exiting to the right up ahead. It would be interesting to see how the system handles this part of the highway during rush hour, when there are tons of cars everywhere. For now, when there are fewer cars and the traffic flow is good, it gets over to the correct lane in plenty of time and very smoothly. Here, I do feel like the system is displaying a level of confidence that I just don't see a lot of in other areas, at least not yet. In this example, there's no reason to get all the way over to the rightmost lane for getting onto the 202. This lane, the one that we're in, is fine. As we enter the 202, we're in the leftmost lane, but that's okay because there's plenty of time to get over. Here's something interesting. I thought I remember reading about full self-driving and detecting turn signals. I did a quick check and I couldn't find any reference to it, but what do you think's going on here? The gray Civic to our right looks like they want to get into our lane, and the car in fact does slow down from 70 miles an hour to 59 miles an hour, matching their speed. However, after about 10 seconds, we are accelerating, passing the Civic and switching lanes in front of them. So either the system is actually reading the other car's turn signals, or more likely, it's a coincidence because we have to start getting over into the right lanes, and that car just happens to be in our way. Exiting off the 202 and onto this long ramp that takes us to the 143, the system is very smooth. I can't get over how competently it transitions off this ramp and onto the 143. I still remember previous versions that just didn't handle any of this very well. This is exactly how I would have executed this turn given these directions. We're in the rightmost turning lane, which is correct because immediately after this light, we have to make a right turn, and both turns are very smooth. Even though there's a car sitting there waiting to turn on East McDowell Road, the system judges the space and executes the turn very nicely. As I said in the last video, turning onto North 46th Street makes no sense whatsoever, but it's a good test of the system. There are a number of speed bumps along this route, which the system handles most of them very well. The first one is clearly marked on the screen and the system slows down to an appropriate speed. It navigates around the parked vehicles as well. However, when we come to the second speed bump, the one across from the school, it doesn't see this one at all. And it's not clear why, since it looks very similar to the first one. There might be just too much going on around it and the system just treats it as noise. In addition, it doesn't pay any attention to the temporary speed limit signs and just blows through the school area. Not a good look. It does, however, eventually slow down to the posted speed limit, but I think that's only because of the tight turns here. It's hard to say. And it does see the third speed bump towards the end of the street and slows down to a safe speed. The turn onto Oak Street was very smooth. This turn is always a little dicey because it's difficult to see to our right because of all the cars parked along the street. However, it waits for the car across from us to make the turn, and then it turns as well. It was a nice, smooth turn. The car navigates well along Oak Street, around the truck, and makes the turn into the back entrance of CostCo. Again, this is a navigational annoyance because it goes through the loading dock area. The entrance is literally 2 blocks ahead on the right. In our last video, it blew right past these 2 speed bumps, and I'm pretty sure it would have done the same thing if it wasn't for the truck that was creating a pretty narrow passageway through the loading dock. And that is a wrap with another fully autonomous drive completed successfully without intervention. There's a couple of differences from the last version, that was 12.5.1.1, but some of that can be associated with random variations in traffic conditions, like a green light or school signs. This is the second video where the good news is it appears the new version didn't break anything. I have to say that I've been seeing some videos recently that are talking about the enormous progress that they're making with autonomous driving, and that is fantastic and very exciting. But unfortunately, they are also conflating that with driving hands-free. Personally, I feel that couldn't be further from the truth. Just yesterday, I was stopped at a light when it turned green and someone ran their red light. It all happened so fast that I didn't know if the system would have stopped, and I didn't trust it enough to wait and see what would have happened. Just something to keep in mind if you're new to full self-driving. As always, feedback is great, so anything constructive will be appreciated. Thank you for watching this old guy in a Tesla. I hope you have a pleasant week, and be sure to have fun while you're driving.